Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 131 people in 12 different countries. I had an add-on for the second and the third healing. So the theme is Unblock Path, face forward, be bold. And I want to just talk about a different aspect of being bold and work with that a bunch today. I think it'll be pretty helpful. But first, hopefully I'm going to get some confirmations. If you can see and hear me, let me know. But oh, good. Yay. All right. So the new concept I want to talk about is doable discomfort, a doable level of discomfort. I think sometimes I'll say something, but it doesn't quite come across. And so there's like a miscommunication accidentally. So sometimes I talk about positive shifts. I talk about, that making progress can be exciting and feel good. And that's true. However, the actual process right before you take your next step and nudging yourself into taking your next step, is that full of peace and joy? No. I would say 99% of the time, no. So there's a doable level of discomfort that we're going to aim for today. We're going to sort of gauge how uncomfortable are you with next steps that you could make. And we're going to clear baggage and heal parts of you and get rid of dumped energy in your space that is making taking your next step too uncomfortable. Not that making it uncomfortable, because progress typically is uncomfortable at some level, maybe significantly uncomfortable at some level. So you just want to make it so it's not overwhelming to the point where you shut down, or overwhelming to the point where like things completely suck, as far as your experience. Right? So levels of discomfort. There's comfort and then discomfort, but then there's like levels of it. And, when it gets too much, it's totally overwhelming and you shut down, you can't do anything, you're like paralyzed, right? So, but I want people to understand a realistic sense that you don't wait around. If you're totally stopped, you're not making any progress, you're totally overwhelmed, the goal is not to make it so that taking your next step is peaceful or joyful. Your goal is to just take the damn next step, right? And so in order to take the next step, you clear and heal enough so that the next step is doable, uncomfortable, but at a doable level. So you'll still feel fear. You still may feel anger, anxiety, loneliness, sadness, right? But you do it anyway. You take that next step anyway, right? And so I'm not trying to shame anybody at all who's not taking a next step, but maybe you're not, because you just have this sort of pie in the sky misperception that your next step should be comfortable, it should be joyful, it should be happy. There's a saying where, what is courage? Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling your fear, but doing it anyway. And there are different fears. There's fear that is a message, like, gee, not a good idea to step in front of a speeding car. My fear reminds me of that, right? But, then there's just stuff that's triggered, baggage that's triggered causing fear. and it's not actually life-threatening what you're about to do, you know? And so then if you know that it's just the baggage-induced fear, right? The blockages in your first chakra or damage in your first chakra or blocks in your first layers causing the fear, then the goal would be just reduce it enough so that it's still there, but it's a doable level of discomfort. So then you can take your next steps, because when you take enough next steps, you get more momentum, and there is a sense of gratification of like, I'm kind of a rock star. Look what I did, you know, but it doesn't mean the fear goes away completely. It doesn't mean the emotional baggage goes away completely. It just becomes manageable so that, you know, you can nudge yourself into the next step. So the next triplet set, the next healing set, group healing set that I'm doing is on the 17th and the 19th of this month. And that theme is clear trauma residue, comfort, and nurture yourself. And I think that will complement today's healing very well. But we're going to kind of do a micro version of that today, where we just need to heal you enough so that whatever discomforts are triggered, you know, by the idea of you taking your next steps, we can reduce the discomforts enough so it's in that doable range. So hope that makes sense. But then, you know, obviously we'll do more in the twin set that's coming up. We'll delve more into, you know, just comforting yourself, just nurturing yourself, just removing some of that trauma, healing from it, restoring from it. But this is sort of a fast track version that we're going to be doing today. Just, you know, reduce the negative enough. And I think if you are a trauma survivor, and I think everybody on some level is a trauma survivor, because we've all had past lives, plenty of them, and we've all been traumatized in past lives. I mean, you know, you have positive experiences and you have negative experiences and you have very negative experiences, you know, so as a trauma survivor, if you have, you can get to a point where you just want to feel peace and joy. Yeah, that would be nice too, right? So the discomfort, you tend to associate it with trauma, you know, like really horrible things that you've been through. And so you don't really have this category of doable discomfort, because you're thinking discomfort and you're remembering all the terrible trauma that you've been through. So it's like there's no middle ground of I'm uncomfortable, but I can do it anyway, because you just flash back into just awful, extreme stuff that you've been through, right? So that's the idea. We need to clear enough and heal enough so you get your middle category of doable discomfort. And maybe you already have that category, but you're just waiting around thinking, well, I haven't done enough because I'm making progress, but I can feel I have to push myself into it all the time. I must be somehow doing it wrong. You know, I don't think you are doing it wrong. If you can make the next steps, that's the whole point. I mean, yeah, but anyway, so that's the idea. And hopefully we will make your doable discomfort category much bigger, and we'll make, you know, we'll clear enough baggage so that taking your next steps that would be good for you now are within that doable discomfort range, not the overwhelming, totally too much discomfort. Because then you can actually take some of those next steps, and then, you know, that's progress, and it's sort of strengthening in and of itself and engaging in and of itself. And so it kind of helps you to take another step and another step and another step. But I just wanted to be very clear that, you know, like, for example, when I, you know, changed the payment system on my website, I didn't have to, but, well, maybe probably. I had to go through a shift in order to realize, you know, and kind of get over the specifics of the situation enough so that I could step back enough and figure out a different solution. But So that was, I did clear and rest and play and just, have my energy improve so that I could even be conscious of the new solution enough, to start working on it and then figure some stuff out along the way. But as I started moving on that, was I at peace? Was I at joy? No. Did I still have fear? Sure. But it wasn't paralyzing at that point. That's the idea. You just don't want to be paralyzed. Right? You can still have fear, you can still have resistance, but you kind of get more savvy about it, basically. And it's like productivity intelligence. Before I'd used that term, emotional intelligence. So this is more like productivity intelligence, where you reduce the junk enough so that it's doable discomfort, and then you kind of realize like, okay, that's resistance, but that's because this is a really important thing to me, and once it's done, I'm going to feel like I've accomplished something bigger, and so you kind of pull yourself forward with that knowledge of like, okay, this doesn't have to feel fantastic. It just has to get done. I like that. So hope that makes sense. That's the basic gist of today. I think also we will do a little bit about energy leaks, but not so literal as like literally repairing leaks in your joints, specific joints, which I have done a lot recently, and I do love doing that. But this time we'll do it looking at your immune system as sort of a literal thing, but also a metaphorical thing about your energy leaks. And so it can help people who, maybe have a sore throat, or maybe they have the flu, but maybe you don't, and it just helps you strengthen your immune system and helps you think about. Anyway, it'll be cool, but it's working on your immune system. So that's the idea. I think those are the two concepts, basically, the immune system stuff and the doable level of discomfort stuff. So hope that makes sense. So now, I do love this little thumbs up thingy. So if you would, please give the live stream a thumbs up. You don't have to, but it helps. All right. So I'm just gonna go over some comments, maybe. Yeah, I think I'll go over the comments later. But thank you so much for the validation about the sound and the picture, especially right now. And what else? Yeah, we'll do the 3 minutes of quiet, and towards the end of that, I'll start healing. And then after about healing for about 1 minute without talking, the rest of the time I'll be talking, and it'll be a walkthrough, so you could heal yourself while I heal. 3 months, 3 minutes of quiet. So if you want, you can heal yourself while you watch, especially when I start talking and telling you what I'm doing as I do. Okay. Keep forgetting how hot I get when I do group healings. All right. So when you heal yourself, you can make a copy out in front of you of yourself. It can be just a specific part of you, like one hand that you're healing, or it can be all of you, all your auras, your physical body, your astral body, and both your groundings, which connect to the core of the earth. So you make a copy out in front of you, and you comb through it with gold light, which you can generate from your hands. You have a big hand chakra, big fingertip chakras, relatively big. And so you set those hand chakras and fingertip chakras to a metallic gold color so that they generate that color, that vibration of energy. You don't have to be able to see energy in order to generate energy, right? You have energy centers, they work whether or not your clairvoyance is doing well today. So I just wash through the copy of yourself with gold light, and you use gold light to melt away blocked energy, to repair, wash other people out. All right. So recreate your grounding. Make it big and wide. It's two groundings, technically, but they're both in the same place, so it looks like one kind of. Red or orange or yellow, just make them big and wide all the way down to the core of the earth, and make them come up as high as your third chakra, which is right here where your sternum ends. Down and then ends, so. And then you have a copy out in front of you of your two groundings, and just use gold light to wash through your groundings. Melt away any blocked energy, any muddy energy, any cloudy energy. You just want like a big flowing waterfall of you releasing all the way down to the core of the earth. So any clogs, melt those. Especially right at the bottom. You don't want any clogs at the bottom. And indie grounding is where you check that outer surface of your grounding all the way down and just make sure that you melt away any attachments from your grounding to other people's grounding. Melt away any hard objects sticking out of your grounding. So first, after grounding, we just did grounding. I want to work immune system energy, your immune system energy. And this is the part where I said we were going to work energy leaks, but not so exactly literally. Like, you know, you can work on mending up leaks, say in a shoulder joint, your shoulder joints. And that's a good thing to do, right? So we've been doing that kind of stuff for a while. But you can imagine your immune system of your physical body, right? But your immune system, I would say, is sort of a marriage between your spirit and your body. It's not just your body. But I am literally talking about, you know, immune system energy healing that could certainly affect and help your physical body. So it includes your physical body, of course. So anyway, your immune system, you can just imagine it like a big circle, and you could imagine like a yin and a yang sort of a thing within it, you know, and just it complements itself and it's your energy. But within this circle that represents your immune system, your energy and your immune system energy is just for you, right? So it's supposed to stay within you, just your immune system. But in order to improve your immune system, you can look at, do you have leaks in your immune system, right? So let's say, okay, so this circle, let's say, represents your immune system, right? And so you want your immune system energy to just be strong enough there so it protects you, right? But let's say you have a leak. And so your energy, let's say you have a bunch of leaks, right? And so this one is your energy going out to a coworker, your immune system energy. This one is your energy going out to one of your parents. This is your immune system energy going out to people you don't even know, like some, I mean, not, you don't know them specifically, like maybe coworkers or relatives or something. And, you know, this one is going out to your partner, you know, but it's some of your immune system energy. So it doesn't actually help them. It's probably you trying to help them, but it doesn't work, right? So how do you get your immune system to not be leaky, right? So that the energy just stays within the circle, your immune system energy. Doesn't mean you don't put energy out into the world, you know, there's energy that's not your unique life-sustaining energy, you know, your unique life force, that, yeah, you can put that out into the world, you know, but this is different. This is you, right? This is your immune system energy for you, for your spirit and your body, right? So say you notice some of these leaks and you want to stop that, right? What do you do? So a lot of times, I mean, there are several main reasons that I had outlined. One of them we were just doing in the last two healings, or maybe just the last healing, I mentioned it, savior agreements. So you could have savior agreements where, like, say I had one with my younger sister from back when we were kids, but I still had it. I hadn't cleared it. And so it was kind of like, you know, I wanted to do anything I could to make her feel better because I felt like, well, I'm the older sister. That's the right thing to do, right? You know, and so it was kind of like a blank check, you know, I wrote. It wasn't just like, well, you know, to the extent that's healthy, I'm going to be supportive. You know, it was more of a blank check thing of like, I should do whatever it takes to make sure she's okay because I'm the older sister, right? So technically, the way I wrote that agreement spiritually, it was so open-ended. It's basically a savior agreement, you know? So whatever it takes, it doesn't matter if I'm using my own life force, whatever, I'm just gonna, you know, give it all to her if she needs it, right? But the problem with that, of course, is, you know, if she's not that healthy and the savior agreement is still in place, I'm like sending her all this unique life force that I need that doesn't even help her, you know? So clearing savior agreements can help. And so we'll do that. Also, as far as agreements, you can have oppression agreements or like ownership agreements where, you know, generally they're pretty abusive situations where this type of stuff exists. But it's like the person is basically like, I own you, you know? And sometimes parents are like that. They're like, I brought you into this world and I can take you out, you know? I own you, you know? And so ownership agreements, that can be very depleting, when you're on the side of being the one who is owned. So, but you can clear those so that, you don't have that oppression agreement anymore, the ownership or oppression agreement. And those can be from past lives. But if you don't clear them, they're still there. So it's good to clear. And the third reason, I hope you haven't passed out by now, because I promise we will get to clearing all these. But the third is you could just have other people's pain dumped in your space, like copies of your genetic father's repressed anger that you took on, big lump of it when you were a kid because you wanted him to be happy, because you figured, well, happy dad, happy house, right? Happy mom, happy house. So you took on a bunch of copies of a bunch of their pain. And now, because you have their blocked energy within your space, it perpetuates this constant leak where you're sending them your immune system energy. Even though, does that help them be happier? No, right? So those are the three things we're going to clear now. I'm going to fix my lighting a little bit, though, because I'm like in this haze of darkness, right? But once I fix my lighting, which will just take a second, well, not fix, but help my lighting, then we'll do this. We'll clear the agreements and we'll get rid of the dumped pain, basically family. A lot of it is family dumped pain, or maybe you took on the copies of their pain, but they didn't dump it on you. And by the way, getting rid of that within you, and then that way the leaks can go away and your immune system can be more self-contained. And so that way the energy that you're generating to help your body and help you stay healthy and even protected on a spirit level can stay within you and do its job, keep you safe and healthier. Does it mean you'll never get sick? No. So I said healthier. But I think actually, ironically, it also helps the literal joint leaks as well. So yeah, there we go. So there you have it. That's explaining. And I'm gonna turn on one extra light. So hold on. Oh, that helps a little. All right. Let's do it. So just imagine, a circle. And if you don't like a circle, fine, use some other shape, whatever. But I think a circle could be okay. So just imagine a shape representing your immune system, could be a circle, some kind of self-contained shape for your immune system and your immune system energy of your body and spirit. And immune system and strong boundaries are kind of, close cousins of each other. So, the camera. No, there we go. Haha. Okay, so just imagine that your immune system as a shape of energy and just see where the leaks are, where your energy is going outside of you. Your immune system energy is leaving you, which we don't want. Okay, so first let's get rid of the agreements because we can kind of do that all at once. So just pile up representations of any agreements that are causing your immune system to leak. So like I already explained, it could be oppression agreements or savior agreements or some other agreements. Any agreements that harm your immune system, cause your immune system to leak energy, right? And so just put those out in front of you and just say, angels, is it okay to update all these? And update them may mean to just clear them, but maybe there are some that just need a little tweaking. So represent them however you want, paper, rocks, whatever, for the agreements, and just run, you can bring up red earth energy and run that through them, and gold light. Run gold light through these agreements. And the angels help me do this. You have any leftovers? So angels, help me with these, please. Okay, so now check your immune system image, you know, whether it's a circle or whatever you chose. And just see, do you have less leaks than you had before? And we could check one more time for agreements that you may have in the way of your immune system being a self-contained, strong energy. So any other agreements that you have that impair your immune system, just put those out in front of you. The angels, can you help me update these, make them as healthy as possible? Maybe some need to be cleared. You know, angels, help me do this. And just use gold light, red earth energy, gold light. You have any left over that, you know, you feel like are still unhealthy, just give them to your angels. Say, angels, can you help me with these? All right, so check that image that you chose for your immune system and check for leaks and see how many leaks there are now. And so then the other thing that I had mentioned is copies of other people's pain in your space can cause leaks. Whether that is pain that they dumped in your space or it's stuff that you took on. You took on a copy of their pain, so you brought it in. But either way, it's somebody else's pain. So just make piles out in front of you of anybody else's pain that's in your space, blocked energy from other people, and especially what's impairing your immune system, causing it to leak, and just use gold light and melt away these copies of other people's energy, or any dumped energy messing with your immune system. So again, put out in front of you any more dumped energy, and you can just do like dumped energy from family members. So think of the different family members, immediate family and extended family. If you have relatives of your partner, if you have a partner, or relatives of an ex, or your ex, and just any dumped pain from any of them, any energy from them that's in your space, and especially anything messing with your immune system, and just melt it away. You could blow it up too. If you want. If you have any leftovers, any blocked energy that's affecting your immune system, give that to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? So again, check out the shape to represent your immune system and just see, are there less leaks? What does it look like now? And if there are still some leaks, just imagine the blocks. You can imagine the blocked energy right in the middle of the shape that causes the leaks, and just melt away that blocked energy. So you want to do what's healthy and gentle, but you know, do it up to that point. What's healthy and gentle. Melt the blocked energy you have in your space that causes your immune system to leak, and give up the energy that you need. All righty, good job. Woohoo! A little confetti on that. Yay. Okay. Okay, so we already did grounding, which was the first of the 4 essentials. So now we'll do the other 3, meaning aura repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair. And then we'll do other cool stuff too. But this is good to make you strong enough to do the other stuff. So auras, you have 17 of them, actually, even though it seems like there's just one. But it helps to know the specific ones just enough so that you can see the nuances of like, oh yeah, there is a rip there. So anyway, just imagine your 17 auras out in front of you, and your physical body and your astral body are inside of those. And just use a lot of gold light. And just survey the damage, survey the awesomeness, survey the flow. Just see what you see. And if you can't see energy yet, just imagine, think about it as you comb through with gold light. And unblock your grounding too, of course. Okay, so we'll use composite copy technique. So you create an image of a rip out in front of you, an aura rip, and you, with your intention, have that rip represent all the rips in your 17 auras that you currently have that need repair, right? So you have that composite copy rip that represents all your rips, and you want to clean it out first so that the repair is more thorough and successful. So you clean it out with sticky gold wax, gold light from your hands that sticks to whatever's not you and forms a lump, and then you can remove all the junk at once pretty easily. So sticky gold, have your rip and fill it up with sticky gold wax. Have it stick to all the junk, lift that out. Angels, here you go. Fill it up with sticky gold wax. Have it stick to all the junk, including sticking to the hard objects that got thrown at you. Angels, here you go. Fill it with sticky gold wax. Have it stick to everything, including hard objects. Lift all that junk out. Angels, here you go. So now you just use gold light enough to repair rips. Make sure you get all the hard objects. Okay, and couple deep breaths. You may have leftover aura hardness at the edges of your auras, or patches of hardness in different layers. So just put out in front of you copies of all your aura hardness, because that weakens your aura. You don't want that. So just melt away any hardness left over in your auras with gold light. Again, put copies out in front of you of any remaining hardness that you have in your auras, and just melt that away with gold light. And comb through your auras. Redo your gold buffer zones. You have 2 of those, one for your astral body aura and one for your physical body aura. I generally, when I link videos down below, there is one called gold buffer zones that would teach you how to make that. So let's do a little aura unblocking now that we repaired the auras. So just you can comb through any which way you want. But sometimes if you change up how you're combing through, you know, like maybe the front and the back you comb through, then you might notice some blocks that you missed. And then you comb through, say, left and right sides of your auras, all the way down to your grounding, left and right sides of your grounding, and then maybe top and bottom of your auras, top half, bottom half. And again, you're just using gold light to melt away the blocks. And while we're at it, you can imagine any blocks above the top of your aura. Imagine the top of your aura and just any blocks above. And the stronger your auras get, maybe it seems ironic, but the heavier the energy above the top of your aura can get, because your aura is really strong up here, stronger than it was before. That means if someone's dumping energy from above, it's not much of it can get in anymore, but that means that you might have a big pile of significantly heavy energy just above your aura, right, just above the top of your aura, that you didn't have before, because it used to crush down and mess all your chakras up and everything, but now it just sits up there. So, you know, feel free to acknowledge the heavy junk above the top of your auras and just melt it away, blow it up, do whatever you need to do to just. And a lot of your positive change energy comes in from above. I would say most of it, either this way or this way through the back of your auras. So it's important and helpful to get rid of the heaviness around the outside of your aura, especially the upper half. All right, good job. So that was aura repair and unblocking. So now chakra repair. Let's do a composite copy technique. So, you know, we did it yesterday, 2 days ago. We cleared agreements that could be in the way of, could be blocking your healing energy from healing you. So it could be blocking your healing energy from healing you when you do like composite copy technique, or it could be blocking your angels' energy from healing you. Not 100%, but it depends on how much your agreements are. Some people, it's really not that much of an issue, but other people, they have these big healing blocking agreements. So anyway, just clear them. Just imagine any agreements that are in the way of you really, really repairing your chakras, or really, really receiving healing energy through these group healings. You very thoroughly repair your chakras. Because it's not that I'm not doing a thorough job, and I don't mean to like be like, it's your fault, it's not my fault. I'm just trying to explain the literal aspects of it. So, and you know, when I do a group healing, right, I'm sending gold light, right? And I'm sending the same amount to everybody, but for some people, it's much more effective than for other people. Why is that? Because for the most part, I mean, obviously there are a million reasons why, but the main big reason is you could have healing blocking agreements that are in the way. And so it's as if there's a wall and only some of the gold light comes through that I send in a group healing to the people that purchased it, or that your angels are trying to give you, or that you're trying to give your own chakras. You know, as you're doing this, there could be, you know, like a block. So the energy's coming out your hands, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't do the job. It doesn't reach the damaged parts, or, you know, half of it does, half of it doesn't. That's the idea. So we want to do composite copy technique for chakra repair, but just check, do you have healing blocking agreements? Any agreements, any unhealthy agreements that would partially or completely block the repair of your chakras and the other parts of the healing we're doing. So just line up all those agreements, any agreements that would block chakra repair or other healing. And just say, angels, is it healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? And then whatever's still there, whatever agreements are still there, go ahead and use gold light and melt them away. So we're melting away healing, blocking agreements. So we just did that, melting, healing, blocking agreements, HBA. But I just wanted to put it in the title as well. So that's what we did first already. We haven't done chakra repair. We've been talking about it, but we have melted the healing, blocking agreements that could be in the way of you having even more effective chakra repair. Okay, so now we're going to do the chakra repair. So just to make a copy out in front of you of a basic chakra shape like this, and just have it represent, with your intention, have it represent all your major and minor chakras of your body and spirit, and just use gold light. Melt cords going into the chakras. Except, you know, first chakra cord to a young child. If you have a child 13 or 12 or younger, leave the first chakra cord. And melt all the other cords. Remove the hard objects. Lift them out. You can melt them. You can blow them up. You can give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. Remove any hard objects in your chakras. Angels, here you go. Doing repair. You can have blocks within the chakra. You can have blocks wrapped around the outside of the chakra. You can have blocks around the round openings. All right. So that was chakra repair. First, we cleared the healing blocking agreements, and then we repaired the chakras and unblocked them in melted cords. But let's do one last aspect of this, where let's make a composite copy just of the chakras that still need more repair and unblocking. So like, we'll call them your worst chakras, but not worst in like a judgy sort of shame sense, but just like a literal sense, like any chakras that are still damaged or still blocked. Let's make a composite copy of just those chakras, right? And go ahead and repair and unblock and melt cords from just the chakras that still need it. Lift out the blocks. Angels, here you go. Lift out the blocks. Angels, here you go. All right, good job. Woohoo. Let's see some butterflies to celebrate that one. All right, awesome. So we'll do creative ring repair now. Your creative rings are above your head, technically above your astral body head. A little tuft of hair really is bugging the heck out of me. That's like alfalfa. In the US, there was this kids show where a long time ago when I was a kid, and before that, where there was a kid and he had the spike of hair, just one spike sticking up. Anyway, okay. So creative rings, 3 gold rings, they are a part of your astral body energy system. So they're right above your astral body head, 1, 2, 3. So just make a copy of those out in front of you and repair them and unblock them and melt cords going into them. So your creative rings, what do they do? Well, they're called creative, so that's kind of cool, right? The gold light it creates like a cool little force field right here, which helps to protect a lot of really important energy systems in the top of your head. You have meridians in your head, and so there are lots of little chakras in your head that are really useful and important for like a lot of stuff, focus, everything. But then there, of course, your 7th chakra is just in the top of your head right there. And that's a super important one for confidence, inspiration, intuition, identity, empowerment, all sorts of good stuff, right? So that's for starters. They generate like a nice force field of gold light right there that helps protect you. But then they send down the extra gold light to all your major chakras along your spine, which helps you with all sorts of different functionality. So anyway, but if they're busted up, they can't do their job, right? So just use lots of gold light, and you don't have to worry about, reconstructing the gold rings, because the gold light will do that. It'll just wash out what's not supposed to be there, and they grow back, kind of like in a, like a Marvel movie, the Wolverine. There's this character called Wolverine, and if he gets like a cut, it like repairs, and so they use CGI movie techniques to make you see how it repairs like in seconds. Yeah. So that's the idea with energy healing. You want to just repair your creative rings like that with gold light and just have them grow back. So they're just 3 gold rings. And definitely melt the cords, because that's part of what can get overwhelming is if people cord into your creative rings. Righty, roo. Okay, good enough. Let's move on. So let's do the other major thing that I said I wanted to do today. We already did immune system stuff. So doable discomfort. I was talking about it in the intro already at length. I talked about it. I'm sure maybe some of you think I talked about it too much. But anyway, so I'll just do it for a minute now. It's just that when you make next steps, progress, you do something, do some work on a project that means a lot to you. Don't expect that it's going to feel joyous and, like nirvana, it probably won't. You'll probably still feel fear about it. You'll probably still feel nervous. Maybe you'll feel frustrated. Like, when I was working on my website payment system and I made the new one that I just made, part of me was sad and part of me was pissed that I had to use days off to do it, boohoo me, right? you know, part of me was, you know, nervous that I was going to wreck my whole website, you know, so, what we want to do is not to perpetuate some sort of fantasy that growth is nirvana, right? Because that could just keep you stuck and you're waiting for the nirvana feelings to start before you take your next steps, right? So we just want to clear enough blocked energy and heal you enough so that you have a doable level of discomfort as you take your next step. So then you realize like, oh, okay, I can really do this. It still feels like I'm scared of ruining my website or whatever, you know, but I can do it. It's doable. My discomfort that I'm feeling is manageable, and I'm just going to go ahead and take that next step. Okay. So that's the concept of a doable level of discomfort. So now let's do it. Okay. So do you have to know what your next steps are? No. Because really, some of your next steps could be just, you know, do something. You know that this could be a good idea, so why not do it? Eventually, one of your next steps would be, you know, the clarity starts coming to you, you know, as you're doing these steps. So you don't have to know like, oh, I have this big project and here are the 12 steps that will get me there, you know? No. Right? You can just imagine the next steps like without knowing consciously what they are, right? So your ideal next steps or your healthy next steps, whatever, you know, don't get stuck about them. You know, if you don't know them, fine. But just if you represent your next steps somehow, or imagine if you're taking them, what gets triggered, right? So just imagine all the baggage, you know, and you can make piles of it everywhere. In front of you, all the fear that gets triggered, the emotional baggage that gets triggered, your parents' energy in your space that gets triggered, whatever, right? So this is all the shit that gets triggered when you think about doing your next steps, right? And so we want to reduce enough of this so that it's doable to take some of those next steps, right? So just use you can bring up red earth energy from the core of the earth and just soak your piles in red earth energy. It's like you're doing dishes, you know, and sometimes it's too baked on, you got to soak it first. My husband gets pissed at me because I soak stuff for way longer than it's needed in the sink. And he's like, yeah, you're not soaking. You're actually just leaving a mess. So, all right, we're doing a quick soak. So you have put copies of all the baggage out in front of you that gets triggered when you think about taking your next steps, and do a quick earth energy soak. Of red earth energy coming up from the core of the earth. And then gold light from your hands and melt away the baggage. Melt away the piles of junk. You don't have to know what it is, but you know, it's probably a mix of fear and guilt and shame and all sorts of terribleness. So just procrastination, baggage, avoidance, whatever. So again, you don't have to be perfect. Just melt enough of it so that your discomfort level is now within the doable range. All right, so that's that. You can check again, put out any more baggage that triggers when you think of taking your next steps, whatever they are, even if you only know one of them, or you don't know any of them, right? So whatever baggage gets triggered when you think about taking next steps, and then just, you can blow up your baggage, or you can use red earth energy and gold light. Lots of gold light. And just melt your piles of shit. Baggage, blocked energy, whatever we want to call it. Right? Melt. Okay, so then now you can have like a range, you know, and peace and nirvana's over here, and, you know, contentment's over here, and excitement. But then there's, you know, I don't know, whatever else. Then there's, you know, doable levels of discomfort. And then there's being overwhelmed, right? So what level of baggage do you have regarding just taking a next step, a baby step, right? Is it in the overwhelming range still, or is it now in the doable range? Now, sometimes what keeps it more in the overwhelming range is not just that you have baggage within you, But it could be that, you know, on an identity level, seventh chakra in the top of your head, identity, purpose, goals, stuff like that. It could be that you have some goals that are tripping you up. Like I looked at one sample person just now, and one of his goals is to make his mother proud of him. And, you know, that's pretty adorable in a way because he was 1 year old when he, you know, on a spirit level made that goal that he wanted to make his mom and his dad proud of him, right? But now, as a, you know, 40-something man, that goal can, it kind of makes your car swerve, you know, because your goals are this way, but then making mom and dad proud is like this way. So now you're like all over the map, and it just like messes up your focus and your, you know, because you got to conserve energy and get more focus in order to, you know, have the force to get through all this junk, you know. So let's just have a representation of all the goals and stuff in your seventh chakra or wherever they are in your space, but all your goals, and just kind of sort them out. Here are the goals that are not helping you to have positive next steps and a positive life. And here are the goals that are helping you. They're supporting your purpose in this life. They're supporting you living a healthy, balanced life. Okay, so there's the unhealthy goals and the healthy goals, right? And you don't have to know what they are. I just read a quick example of one just to kind of, you know, make it interesting. Okay, so then go ahead and run the goal light through all the goals, the unhealthy ones and the healthy ones. And, you know, the idea is most likely the healthy ones will just get stronger and the unhealthy ones will melt away. All right. So again, look at, imagine some of your next steps, and you can kind of imagine them, you know, as like little stepping stones. And these are, you know, little baby steps for you. Like make them realistic baby steps that are for sure technically possible, right? For you to do. They're within reality, right? And then look at, you know, the baggage that gets triggered when you think of doing these steps. And is it in the overwhelming range still, or is it in the doable discomfort range now? And if it's still, you know, if there's any baggage at all that triggers when you want to do these next steps, go ahead and melt it away. But just be aware that you don't wait till there's no baggage anymore. You just, you know, once it's in a doable range, you can go ahead and do it and it won't hurt you. It's okay. It's normal to, you know, if you're like pushing the envelope and, you know, being bold, doing something that's not easy for you, well, then it's not easy to do, you know, but it's doable. That's the idea. We want it to be doable for you. So you're just melting away any baggage that triggers when you think of doing your next steps. All right, good job. Good job. So a little celebratory gold confetti for you there. Good job. Woohoo! Love that. So let's do a little chakra alignment just to, you know, it's just, hold on, I gotta take notes. Within a day, there will be chapter titles that you'll be able to see when you scroll through the video. Like they'll be at the bottom there in little white font, and you'll be able to scroll through them. And if you click on a chapter title, they'll all appear on the right. But I have to take notes to do that. Okay. So chakra alignment, just of your major chakras along your spine. So you have 2 sets of them. 7 physical body chakras along your spine, 7 astral body chakras along your astral body spine. What is your astral body? It's you as a spirit. You are not your physical body. However, your physical body has important energy centers, and it's really important to you being bold, to heal and get everything spinning and repaired as much as you can, both your spirit chakras and your physical body chakras. So the major chakras along your spine, just imagine them. You can imagine the astral ones inside the physical ones, so it looks just like 7 chakras, but it's really 2 sets. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7th chakra, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You don't really have to know exactly where they are, though, but that's the gist of it. I have videos if you want to learn more. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They're open cylinders. Just use a lot of gold light. With chakra alignment, it's a literal thing. You want them to just line up and kind of cooperate together. So just use gold light and kind of comfort them. You don't want any of them to overspin, which could be like, a car in a ditch is like, you don't want that with your chakras. You want them all to kind of just harmonize together and literally be aligned. So just a lot of gold light. And use a nice wide band of gold light, because you also want to align the gold magnetic fields that are around each chakra. So they're aligned, they're cooperating together, they're flowing. All right, good job. Okay, so we talk a lot, like for example, in the when we worked the immune system, which we did pretty early on in this healing, right after grounding, we worked immune system. The idea with that is to keep your energy for yourself, your own unique life force, your own immune system energy. Your body needs all of that. You as a spirit need all of that. It's like strong boundaries energy, literal immune system energy, good stuff, but good stuff to keep for yourself, right? You don't want the leaks. We worked on that, so you have less and less leaks. So you just have a more closed system with your immune system energy, right? However, in life, part of boldness is to be able to communicate with the world, right? Communicate with others, a whole bunch of people at once, or just one person at a time, but to, speak your mind, to have focus, to be able to finish your own thoughts within yourself. But so part of it is not just communication within yourself and facing yourself, but also facing out into the world, right? Not just being like a sort of a hopeless introvert, where you're too introverted, and so you don't send stuff out, right? And also you could be sending stuff out that isn't so healthy, like like sort of an inner scream kind of a vibe, like I hate my job, or God, these wars, they're driving me crazy. I hate all this conflict in the world. You could be actually sending that out. So it's not so much an inner scream, but a broadcast. And that is a thing. Generally, people don't know they're doing it, but it happens. So looking at what are you sending out into the world is easier to do than it might seem. And the more you can kind of heal these parts of you and heal the baggage, then you are sending out energy, but you're sending out energy that's not your unique life force, so it's okay. And you're sending out energy that is aligned with your purpose in this life. It's aligned with your healthy goals. It's good. good for you, good for the world. It's okay, right? You're not sending out the inner scream of frustration type vibe, or the whatever, the fear of like, get away from me. Like, say you have somebody in your life that is invasive, you might be sending a get out of my space communication, not only to that person, which isn't helping, it just triggers them even more, so they do it more. But then it might be like a broadcast that you're sending out, period, and you could also be looking for a new job. So if you have this, so go away, get out of my space, leave me alone broadcast, that's just a general broadcast, it's going to cancel out some of your I'm the best candidate possible for your new job type vibe that you're trying to send out to different workplaces, right? So we're going to kind of streamline what you're sending out, like help you to review it, so that the what you're sending out, if it's healthy and aligned with your purpose and your goals, your healthy goals, then great. But if it's not, let's do some healing and unblocking, so that you don't send out the other stuff. And you could be holding back. There could be stuff that you're meant to send out into the world. That's okay. It's not your unique life force, so it won't drain you. And it is aligned with your purpose and your goals. But there's something holding you back that's not healthy or necessary, right? And so we can unblock that, so that you are sending out, as much as is healthy for you to do, and it's in alignment with your goals, and you're not sending out the yucky inner scream stuff. Okay, let's do it. So, all right. So now, how do you imagine what you're sending out? I mean, there's all sorts of ways, but I'll draw just an example, but it doesn't have to be the only way. Ooh, if I had light blue, that would be so much better. But our light blue dry erase marker exploded about a week ago. And right now I don't have a light blue dry erase marker. Well, but let's say this blob is you. Okay, I didn't draw it dark enough, but whatever. Okay, let's say that blob is you. And then as far as what you're sending out in the world, okay, so that's what you're sending out to the world, right? But let's say maybe some of it is really good and supportive of your, in alignment with your goals, and then the rest is like weird inner scream stuff that you don't mean to send out. Okay, so maybe that's a way you could imagine it, or you can imagine any other way. But that's the idea. So just imagine yourself in whatever way you want, and then imagine what you're sending out into the world, and what of it is healthy, constructive, supportive, in alignment with your goals and your purpose, and what part of what you're sending out is totally not, and counterproductive and not in alignment with your goals and purpose. And so that the stuff that's not appropriate or healthy to send out, go ahead and heal yourself enough so that stuff doesn't go out anymore. So you don't go, ooh, you just unblock and heal enough within you so there's no need. You stop screaming. So, or whatever, so just imagine the blocks within you that are making you send out that unhealthy stuff that's not in alignment with your goals and purpose, and just melt that away. So again, imagine you, and imagine what you're sending out into the world, whatever energy you're generating that you're sending out, and what of that is healthy and constructive and, in alignment with your goals and purpose, and what part of that is counterproductive, unhealthy, not, maybe going against your purpose and your healthy goals. And so that the unhealthy stuff, let's just unblock enough. Heal those parts of you that are sending that out. So you can imagine it like a bunch of blocked energy within you causing that unhealthy stuff to go out. Or you can imagine it like unhealthy, blocked out parts of you, like little mini versions of you that are particularly unhealthy, that are sending out that stuff that's not in alignment with your purpose and your goals. And just, you know, heal these little mini yous, mini versions of you that need healing, little wounded yous. Heal those up. You can say, angels, can you help me heal these parts of me, please? It's okay if you didn't know you have angels, you actually do. And when you say angels, they hear you, so you don't have to overthink it. Just use lots of gold light. Heal these little mini parts of you that are sending out communication into the world on subconscious levels or conscious levels that is not helpful for your purpose and your goals. So heal those parts of you. All right, great. So now go ahead and double check again. So imagine you and imagine the energy you're sending out into the world and just see if, you know, how much of that is helpful and supportive and in alignment with your goals and your living a happy, healthy life. And then how much of it is not in alignment with that. It's counterproductive to your goals and your path, your purpose. So if there's still any more of that, just keep healing yourself. Gold light. You can comfort yourself, be like, hey, it's all right. Okay, I can heal. You don't have to be ashamed or anything. You know, it's really common. People are sending out all sorts of wacky stuff. But if it's not helping you, you know, it's a waste of your energy and it could be getting in your way. Just keep healing yourself until only sending out stuff that is helpful for your purpose and your goals, and you're living a healthy, balanced, happy life. All right. And so then there's that aspect that I mentioned of you could be sending out stuff. You could be holding yourself back. There could be stuff that is healthy and would be healthy and supportive to your goals and your purpose, but you're holding it in. You're not sending it out into the world, but it would help you. You're just, you know, it could be somebody a long time ago, maybe an authority figure told you to be quiet. You know, told you shut up, don't say that, don't tell anybody, you know, whatever. And so it just kind of stuck there as this big, you know, limit on your communications when, you know, it just doesn't, it's not healthy. Maybe it wasn't even healthy back then to have that in your space, of course. So just imagine what's the communication that you ideally would be sending out in the world, but for some unhealthy reason, you're blocked up about it. And just imagine the blocks, you know, maybe like a big, you know, just some big thing right here, blocking your communication. So the stuff that you could be sending out to the world that would help you, say find a job or you know, find new friends or whatever, you can remove that block so that now you're able to send out the communication that would help you and help your goals. So just imagine whatever blocks are preventing you from sending out helpful energy that would help you to send out, to help your purpose, help your goals. Melt the blocks so that you don't hold yourself back. You don't silence yourself. You know, if something is healthy for you to send out, go ahead and go for it. All right. Woohoo. So, and of course, you know, it can take working on this over time, you know, and you know your levels of motivation. Maybe you are never in a million years going to listen to this again on replay. maybe you will, you know, there could be little chapter headings, you know, and so you could go right to the sending out section, do it again. But, you know, whatever, either way, you can ask your angels to work on it more with you in your sleep. And also when you're awake subconsciously, you know, angels are very clever with that, you know, and they might help you to multitask and work more on it without like explicitly listening to the video again. So just saying, you know, I'm going to let my angels help me with this. If I need more help on, you know, the energy I'm sending out into the world, you know, I'm going to let my angels help me. And just kind of breathe and remind yourself of that. All right. Woohoo. Good job. Good job, good job, good job. Let's see. Let's do some more butterflies. I love that. All right. Okay, so as I said, everyone has angels. Even people who seem like really evil people have angels. They may not be listening to them very well, but they do have angels. So you have angels. And sometimes the difference between kind of having that, okay, this is explained. I keep thinking it'll be so quick, but it's not. Okay, sometimes that doable discomfort that we worked already, that having that doable level of discomfort where you still feel the fear or the frustration or whatever, but you get over it enough, you know, it's doable, and you actually take a next step and work on something that's meaningful to you, say, for example. Sometimes the difference between doable discomfort and I'm going to do it, or doable discomfort and I'm just going to say, well, what's the point? Why bother? Sometimes the difference is being able to hear your angels, because your angels can kind of be like little pep rally encouraging forces for you. I mean, you can do that for yourself too, especially if your fourth chakra is flowing nicely, and your seventh chakra and your fifth chakra, like it's like your own encouragement, inner voice, focus little process. But let's say you're a little blocked, but not blocked enough that you can't hear your angels, so you still hear your angels. They can kind of talk you into it, you know, kind of like be like, you know, like, well, how about we just do it for 10 minutes and see if you feel better once you do it for 10 minutes, you know, like your angels can kind of trick you into taking your next step sometimes. So, but sometimes you can, there can be just too much baggage in your space and you can't hear your angels, or you hear them, but it's like instantly like, no, there's no point. Like you actively talk back to your angels and be like, you don't help me enough, you know, you know, so there, you can have inner baggage, say resentment or whatever, in your space, so much so that you're not letting your angels help you. And so you don't get the uplifting potential of having like super wise, super capable helpers, which you have, which are angels. So let's melt the wall of let's imagine anything that's blocking you from really understanding and kind of feeling how uplifting your angels can be. Let's imagine all your inner junk that's in the way of that as a wall in between you and your angels, and melt the wall. So that way, angels are not invasive though, so they won't force you to do something. But that way you're more likely to kind of really understand where they're coming from and kind of see their point and be like, oh yeah, you're totally right. Okay, sure. Doesn't mean that sometimes you don't need rest or sometimes you don't need play. But, you know, even with that, being able to hear the angel advice about, you know, rest and play is helpful too. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so just imagine any inner garbage in the way of you receiving help from your angels in the form of wise advice, in the form of healing energy, whatever, right? So here's you, here's your angels. Just imagine the wall of crud within your space. They can block that and just melt your wall of crud. Melt the wall. Could be other people's crud that was dumped on your space. Just melt the wall in between you and your angels. Take your time. So, and the wall could be bigger than you think. Like, you know, like you could think, well, I just don't have good angels. Which is from what I can see, that's actually never true. So it's not that you don't have good enough angels. There could be more to this crud wall than you realize, you know. The wall of your inner stuff blocking you from receiving angel help, right? So just imagine your crud wall, your wall, whatever it is that's in between you and your angels, and imagine the big version of it that exists. Don't be in denial, and then just be like, angels, can you help me with this? Right? And I know that's kind of ironic, but you know, because you kind of, because the wall is blocking you from receiving angel help. So don't totally count on that, you know, but use flamethrowers, use gold light, use cold water, gold soap, gold glitter, whatever it's going to take. You can blow up the wall. You're healing yourself. All righty. Good job, good job, good job. So you can keep doing that over time too, because this could be an issue that you've had for several lifetimes about, you know, not receiving as much angel help and advice as is being offered to you. So it's okay if, you know, you can't clear 8 lifetimes of junk in, you know, 3 minutes. You know, melt your wall is a 4-minute video, actually, that process that we just did. I don't call it crud or junk or shit, probably. I just say it's a wall of baggage, but so it's a little more sanitized than this one was. So, but anyway, that is a 4-minute standalone video called Melt Your Wall. If you search JW Healing Melt Your Wall on YouTube, you'll find it. All right, so imagine you and your angels and the wall of shit in between you and your angels. That's really just your inner stuff. And just melt that wall. And if you have any invasive beings in between you and your angels, say, angels, can you please recycle these beings? So that can look like, you know, cloudiness or smokiness, or just, you know, if the wall is extra intimidating, it could just be a bunch of invasive beings playing head games with you. So just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of me receiving angel help, please recycle. And you may have agreements with people that is blocking your ability to receive angel help. Obviously, those would be unhealthy agreements. But if you have any agreements with people or beings that is causing you to not receive enough angel help, just melt away the agreements. Just use gold light. You say, angels, help me do this. Just melt away any unhealthy agreements that are blocking angel help for you. All right, good job. Woohoo! So, let's unblock your spiritual path one more time. We did a bunch of that 2 days ago. In the second healing, we did like a 25-minute block of doing, spiritual path unblocking. So your spiritual path, it's like a road and it's just for you. So it doesn't matter if you have a fantastic husband or wife or best friend or whatever, they have their own path, you have your own path. Your children have their own paths, you have your own path. Okay, so just imagine your path, wash everyone else off it with gold light. That'll give them their energy back so they can work on their path. And just say hi to that little mini version of you that's on your path. Give that little part of you a healing. Unblock your path, if there are unhealthy burdens or roadblocks behind you or in front of you on your path, just melt all that away. You don't want unnecessary difficulties. I mean, there are difficulties that are meant to be there so that you can overcome them and get stronger. But there could also be just, needless drama. So just melt away the needless drama. Like, sometimes if you have fear, you make things a lot worse, right? So your fear can be making these giant obstacles on your path. So as you clear the giant obstacles, you're also clearing the inner fear that is making those giant obstacles. And there's a force field, protective force field that can be around your spiritual path, make it harder for people to just barge in and roadblock you. So just heal that gold protective force field around your path. If there are any big gashes in it, just use lots of gold light, so that it can repair. You have this nice, flowy, strong force field around your spiritual path. And if you have any invasive beings or invasive people on your path, can you say, angels, can you help me clear my path off? Anything unhealthy? All right, good job. Okay, so your seventh chakra, as I have said, is in the top of your head. I do have videos explaining, there's a 3-video set called 7 Chakras Aura Layers Flow. If you need me to find that for you and link it, just post a question down. Anyway, that's a 3-video set called 7 Chakras Aura Layers Flow. And that explains, all the chakras. Also, I have an email handout that I could email anybody for free that has it written out, each of the 7 chakras, their location, the ideal color, and the functions that they support. Each one supports. But anyway, so your 7th chakra is in the top of your head, and the energy from that fountains out the top and flows down, and it goes up, fountains out, Seventh chakra, confidence, empowerment, goals, intuition, all sorts of good stuff. Your eighth chakra is above you, and that above the top of your aura. So, say like for Akudal, the top of her aura is right here. Her eighth chakra could be a foot above that or 10 feet above that. It comes and goes, and how engaged you are with what you're doing. So when you're taking a next step, you may not feel fantastic, but chances are your higher self is more checked in, more engaged with what you're doing. Whereas if you're just like kind of doing something that's not really helpful or healthy even, then your higher self is just, yeah, whatever. Get back to me when but your eighth chakra does have, it's an energy center with a lot of your past life knowledge, things you've learned in your past lives, and just healing energy of yours. So it looks like a big gold sun, and you have a gold connection between your eighth chakra and your seventh chakra. And the more flowing it is, the more unblocked it is, you tend to be more like coherent and focused and clear. Not perfectly so, but it's a good unblocking this connection. Seventh to eighth connection is a good way to refocus and just get a comforting wisdom kind of vibe. All right, so that was explaining, even though I didn't say it was. And let's do it. So just imagine your seventh chakra that's oriented this way with round opening at the top, round opening at the bottom up here. And your seventh chakra, you have two of them, astral and physical. The astral is inside the physical when you're fully present. And purple is an ideal color for your seventh chakra, so you can set it to your favorite shade of purple. And then you imagine your eighth chakra, like a big gold sun up wherever it is. And then the connection between the two would ideally be gold, this connection. And you can just see, is your gold eighth chakra energy coming down? And if there are any blocks, go ahead and melt those so that you get more of that to come down into your seventh chakra. And if there's anybody cording into your seventh to eighth connection, that's not cool. So just melt away any cords going into your seventh to eighth connection, or maybe you have some hard objects stuck in there. So just melt all those away. It's just a nice river of eternal healing energy and wisdom coming down, your energy coming down into your seventh chakra. Imagine any blocks blocking this wisdom of yours coming down into your seventh chakra. And melt the block. And just keep breathing. Breathe into your legs, your hips. All right, so let's wrap up. I'll check grounding, and we will also clear two big blocks. So double check your grounding. You can even recreate it. Recreate both your groundings. Make them red or orange or yellow. So they're big connections all the way down to the core of the earth. Use cold light for your hands to wash out any blocks. I like to use this example of a closing pitcher in baseball. I'm not really into any sports. I mean, watching them, and but my husband really loves baseball, and so I've seen my fair share of baseball games playing on a TV, And the closing pitcher is like so cool, really spiritually. There's this pitcher, there'll be pitchers that are known as closers, like closing pitchers, and they are called in to pitch towards the end of the game or maybe the last part of the game when like everything's riding on how good they do. And these dudes, male baseball players, but it could be a woman. You could have closing pitcher type grounding that's just so strong and flowing that even when there's a lot riding on it, you are that grounded. Because that's the idea of a closing pitcher. Their grounding is just so cool. Even when, like a stadium full of people and all these people watching from home are like focused on that person, it doesn't matter. They're like super powered waterfall grounding, right? So that's the idea. You can have, you can be bold and you can have super powered, closer pitcher grounding. So just unblock your grounding that much so that even when, it really, really matters, you can, just have your grounding for yourself. It's not a big community breakthrough room. It's not a big family, bitch about your life room. It's just for you. And just comb through your whole space. And again, just wash out anything that's in the way of you being bold and balanced, I like to say. Because, maybe you do need some play, maybe you do need some rest also, but in balance, so that there's a balance of being bold and being self-nurturing and, whatever, right? So just comb through everything, your whole space, including your grounding, and just wash out anything in the way of you being bold and balanced. And 2 big blocks. Let's do that. That's just where you pile out in front of you copies of whatever energy blocks still haven't cleared that are triggered, so they can be bigger. That's why I call them too big. They're too big to just have automatically cleared already, but that's okay. You can just stack up copies of them out in front of you. Maybe they look like big surfboards or something, and they tend to be energy blocks kind of linked together, so that's why they haven't cleared yet. So anyway, just pile up your 2 big blocks, bring up red earth energy from the core of the earth, soak them in the red earth energy, a quick soak, not for several hours in the sink. So bring up your red earth energy, add lots of gold light, and you can melt cords going into these 2 big blocks from other people. So they just start to melt away. Melt these 2 big blocks. You say, angels, help me do this. And again, put more copies of any energy blocks that are still bothering you on any level. Just put them out in front of you. Any blocks that are in the way of you being too bold, being bold and balanced. And just stack those up and melt them away. You can blow them up too. All right. So then just check your everything. New energy generally comes up in from above, so down into your 7th or in directly into your neck and shoulders, or back here into your good karma windows back here. So just unblock above your shoulders, around your neck, above your head, unblock behind your back of your head. Block and repair that enough that you get your positive change energy coming in. And we could wrap up. Just say, ask your angels for help. Just remind yourself too, because sometimes that's really more of what you need is just Remind yourself, hey, my angels can help me to be bold. Yeah, I'm going to let my angels help me be bold and balanced. Yeah, you can say, angels, can you please help me wrap up this healing? All right, good job. That's a healing. You're amazing. Woo, 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 woo. You did it. Woo, 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 woo. All right. Hey. Woohoo. Double confetti. How about that? We're really going wild. Okay, so the healing's done, and I'm just going to take a look at some chat comments. Thanks for everybody for your comments. So some people are confirming they can see and hear me. Thank you so much. Evanston, watching from Evanston, Illinois, in the 40s and cloudy. I think that's what we are now too. Hold on one sec, I gotta yell at my dog. Okay, yes, I can see and hear you. Thank you. Hello. Yes, hello to you. Hey, Janet, I can see and hear you from Las Vegas, Nevada in the US. This sounds very similar to the OCD therapy work that I've done. Very neat. Well, how about that? Does it make you stuck if you keep trying to clear a particular topic constantly, or is it better to not fully know what is clear? No, it doesn't make you stuck. Like, in other words, for love life, you could keep clearing blocks about your love life every day for your whole life, and it wouldn't make you stuck. I mean, it's just, you know, if you chill out, you know, and clear blocks about your major goals, that's fine. You know, you keep doing it. It doesn't hurt you. So yeah, it's not unhealthy to have, you know, kind of little pet projects that you're working on. Like, you know, until I do taxes, that tends to be one of my pet projects. I clear blocks around doing taxes. You know, but then once I'm done with that, then I can have a different pet project, you know, something that's a little bigger that I feel like I'm a little stuck on, you know, that could be a little one that I clear about extra, you know, in addition to just general flow and clearing. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you don't have to do it that way, but sometimes it does speed things up. Speed up your progress if you have, you know, you do your general work, but then add, you know, like when we're doing chakra repair and unblocking, I'll also tend to work in the theme. I'll try to do that as well. But since we talk about the theme in the start, that usually triggers those blocks, and so they're more likely to clear even if I don't say it out loud during the chakra repair and unblocking part. So, you know, if you just maybe in a journal write down some of your major issues that you want to work on, you don't have to beat it like a dead horse throughout your whole meditation. You've triggered it just by thinking about just by, you know, reading your little list. And then, you know, you just do your regular meditations and it'll clear more that way. So yes, conscious awareness can help speed up your clearing. My trauma healing is now at colon. I can live with that. That traumatic event a long time ago, the person I was at that time is actually gone. The me of here and now is a different person. Yeah, I mean, it depends how people want to think about it. You know, I mean, of course, technically it's still you, but I understand what you're saying. And it could be that in the past you just weren't that present. So you were kind of more of a soup of everybody else's energy. And so, you know, like for me, in college, I wasn't that present. I was more present than I was in high school, that's for darn sure. But I wasn't super present, you know? And so the friends I made in high school, I mean, in college, they're not really cool with me now. Like they're not especially comfortable with what I do for a living and stuff. So they're not really friends now. they're like friends from afar, you know, like, I wish you well, I wish you well, you know, but since I wasn't so present back then, they thought I was fabulous back then, you know, but that wasn't, you know, so I could say, well, that wasn't the real me, but it was me. I just wasn't so present. I was doing my best, but I was kind of, you know, half in, half out, you know, so the people I attracted and the friends I had then, you know, they see me now and they're like, ooh, she's different. So, you know, yeah. So it is technically still you, but you're not as present. So you don't, you know, what you're sending out into the world is different. How people perceive you would probably be different. So yeah, I mean, big transformation is possible. And yeah, there you go. So congratulations for changing so much. Hey, Janet, can see and hear you from cloudy San Francisco. 55. I would take that. Hi, Janet. If quite often I have a thought of someone evasive, I hardly know how to stop him coming back. Okay, I think you mean invasive. Evasive is to avoid, invasive is to come in. So they're opposite. I mean, obviously, you know, I have such respect for my clients that speak multiple languages, like this much respect. So if I correct your English, it's still like, you're amazing. Please understand that. But anyway, okay. So yeah, if you have someone invasive, how to stop him coming back into your space. The more present you are, the less that's an issue. So I know initially it might be kind of freaky because maybe your levels of awareness are better than your boundaries are. So you're aware of all these people that can access your space, but you're not yet able to be present enough so it's like a frequent thing that you're realizing that person's in my space, that person's in my space, that person's in my space. So just try to clear the fear about it, because you're still here. You're still strong. They are not going to kill you by being in your space. You know, you can get stronger and stronger and stronger. So I think step one is clear the fear about it, you know, and kind of that ick factor of like, oh my God, that person's in my space, you know. And so clearing fear, you can search Janet Wright Clear Fear. Or JW Healing Clear Fear on YouTube. And, you know, I have a bunch of different videos to clear fear, but you know, just clear energy blocks. Imagine your fear energy blocks about people being in your space and just melt the energy blocks so that you're not afraid when you notice that, you know, guy XYZ is in your space. Basically, it just means that he's courting you and you have some baggage that he's courting. So, you know, that's it, you know, and you know, realistically, all of us have people courting us and have people in our space. Technically, it's just the degree to which it's happening. But for the most part, the more in you are, the less in they can be. The less in your space they can be. So like, for example, me, you know, when I was in college, if someone was in my space, my God, they could be like 80% in my space and I was only 20% in my space, my physical energy system. But now if someone's in my space, you know, maybe they could be like 10% in my space, 15% if I was like really messed up. You know, so it's just a degree to which. So is the world full of less invasive people now than it was 20 years ago? No. You know, it's just I'm more here. So that's the primary focus, is just be here. Just repair enough so that you can be here. Unblock enough so that you can be here. Yes, melt the cords to the creepy guys and whoever else, you know, invasive people. And you know, melt the blocks that they're clearing, but just keep bringing your mind back to you being in your legs, you being in your hips, you being in your spine, you know, just focus on you showing up, you know, more and more and more. Clear the fear so you're not freaking out about, you know, the invasive people that exist in the world. Okay. Tuning in from Chicago. Hello. Hi from, oh, and thank you for your survey. Hi, thank you from Whidbey Island, Washington. Hello to you. Hello, everybody. Sending positive vibes and hope you all have a wonderful day. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for Welcome, welcome. Thank you for talking about change and expectations and discomfort. I needed that. Oh, good. That made sense. Quick soak of dishes made me laugh. Yes. Oh, it's funny. I love the doable rangefinder. Yeah. So doable discomfort. Is it overwhelming discomfort or is it doable discomfort? If it's doable discomfort, you can still get something done if you push yourself or nudge yourself. But the more baggage you clear, the more likely you're in the doable range for your next step. And then you can. Thank you for the healing and useful information, Janet. You are welcome. Working agreements and doable stuff is very satisfying. Oh, nice. Thank you, Janet. Feeling really calm and mellow. I love the doable stuff. I definitely want to work that more. Yeah, because, I was thinking about it. It's like, I think, I try to be more real than some spiritual teachers that I have seen, like on YouTube, that like they film themselves in Maui or something. And, they're like, oh, come to my $1 million retreat and we will be spiritual, and it's like, whatever, like, I'm not saying that they don't help the world in some way, but the reason why I broadcast from my kitchen table, from my kitchen, whatever this is called, eating bar. I know there's a simple term for this. I can't think. Anyway, breakfast bar. I broadcast from my breakfast bar. Right on the other side of the camera is our stove, a bunch of pots on it. Is because I want to emphasize daily growth, daily progress, daily change, and that you don't need, Maui waves in the background in order to, breathe and let go of something and, be brave and be bold. But I think even the way I communicate with, the dogs and the dishes and everything, sometimes still there is this, that maybe there's just not enough emphasis on that, the uncomfortable, the doable range of discomfort, and that, taking a next step will not feel peaceful most of the time. Oops. Did I lose power? It looks like I'm broadcasting. I see it. It's back? Okay. Anyway, so doable discomfort. Hope it makes sense. Seems like it did. So good. Do I melt cords off of me, or do I melt the whole cord, like the other person could still have their part of the cord? Yeah, it just focus on the part within your space and maybe just outside of your space, because the other half of the cord will just dissolve by itself. You don't have to worry about that part. And that way you're less likely to interfere with their space. And also you're more likely to melt your baggage that the cord is hooking into. And that's probably the most important part of the whole thing. Because if you just focus on the cord itself, you might not melt your baggage, and then it's easy for someone to cord you again because the cord hooks into the baggage. So yeah, just focus on your baggage and the part of the cord within you and just outside of yours. And then the rest of it will just dissolve without you doing anything. Butterfly emoji, thank you so much. I think maybe inspired by my butterflies, which I adore. I feel like I'm in a Disney movie right now. Anyway, thank you. You're welcome. My vision is brighter after the healing and my headspace feels lighter. Oh, cool. Super cool theme. Thank you, Janet. Oh, thank you. So are you. Love the broadcasting healing. Oh, yeah. Thinking about the energy you're sending out. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I think that chapter will be called Sending Out, probably. Oh my God, I can relate so much to feeling fear of people invading my space. Thank you for discussing this topic. Good. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, you know, psychic awareness, it can kind of freak you out, you know, like, but yeah, clear the fear. You know, I mean, right now, how many people are accessing my space? Probably like 35, 40, you know, but it's just like these teeny little bits, you know, and yeah, I can clear that right now. But the point is, I'm here. You know, the point is, I'm checked in. I'm really engaged in what I'm doing. And that is 99.999% of boundaries. It's just checking in, like focusing on yourself, not like, oh my God, you know, I have a crack in a chakra. Oh my God, I have this, of that, you know. I mean, that healing stuff is great, but at the end of the day, doable discomfort, get shit done, live your life. You know, try to just clear the fear, clear the perfectionist impulse, the OCD impulse to like, you know, oh my God, I can't do that yet because I haven't cleared my chakras for 8 hours. All right. Oh, my video is freezing. Mm. Mm. Hopefully that's just here. You can let me know though, to my viewers, if my video is freezing. I hope it's not. Oh, it's not. It might be. Yeah, let me know if you can still see and hear me. You're still here, Janet. Question on the path. I feel stuck and open at the same time, which is weird. What should I do? I think you actually should just do some chakra repair. We did chakra repair in this healing, but I haven't done the chapter titles yet, so you can't like zoom right to it real fast. But if you go to any of my recent videos and go to the chakra repair section, I think if you repair your chakras for like 5 minutes or so, that could help you like zoom in, and because I don't think your path is especially blocked. I think you just have chakra damage in a bunch of chakras, and so it's very disorienting kind of feeling. Chakra repair. Oh, and putting your name is helpful. But yeah, you do have some chakra damage. I think someone was throwing energy at you like during the second half of the healing. So we repaired your chakras and then they got damaged. So the connection was lost 2 times already. Okay, now. Fungus. About that guy. All right, well, maybe it's a sign. Time to wrap up. So I will show you my doggies. And then we'll wrap up. So, and the twin set is in almost 2 weeks from now, the 17th and the 19th, Sunday, March 17th and Tuesday, March 19th. Oh, and before that, on the 15th, which is in like a week and a couple days, of Friday, March 15th, that's when the May sets go on sale on my website. So you can purchase the May healing sets if you want on the 15th of this month. And if you don't get my news emails where you get an email on the 15th saying, hey, I just put the sets up, you can email me and ask to be on my news email list, janet@jwhealing.com. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll show my doggies. So I'll label it first. It's cute. All righty. So that's Abel. My husband just took him out, so he's especially peaceful right now. Doesn't he look cute? He's actually pretty old. He's like, I think he's 14 and a half right now. So here he is. And then there's Izzy right there. So they're peaceful at the moment. Alrighty, so you're amazing and good for you for thinking about your healing. And I'm sorry about the shitty internet. I certainly pay enough for it not to be shitty, but you know. It's what it is. All right. So bye. You're so amazing. We'll do some butterflies on the way out, like we're in a big Disney film. Bye.